If you have ever lain awake at night fighting your own anxious thoughts, you already know the strangest part. The harder you try to push them away, the louder they get. Almost 1,000 years ago, a hermit, alone in the mountains of Tibet, discovered exactly why this happens. And what he finally did about it is the opposite of everything fear tells you to do. This is the first story in a short series about facing the emotions that quietly run our lives. Tonight, we begin with the one that visits in the dark, fear. We spend so much energy at war with our own minds. We tell the worry to stop. We argue with the fear. We try to think our way out late into the night, and somehow we only sink deeper. There is an old story from the high snows of Tibet about a man who fought his demons the very same way you fight yours, until he stumbled onto something that set him free. His name was Milarepa. Milarepa had given up everything to live alone and meditate in the mountains. No comfort, no company. Just a thin cotton cloth, a cold stone cave, and the vast silence of the Himalayas. One evening he came back to his cave from gathering firewood, and when he stepped inside, he froze. The cave was not empty. It was full of demons. Eyes glowing in the dark, crowding the walls, watching him. The one place that was his, the place he came to for peace, had been taken over. Now, you have met these demons too. Maybe not in a cave, maybe at 2 in the morning when the worries crowd in. The fear that you are not enough, the replay of the thing you said, the dread of a tomorrow that has not even arrived. They fill the space and stare at you, and suddenly your own mind does not feel like a safe place to be. So Milarepa did what almost any of us would do. He set out to get rid of them. First, he tried to be reasonable. He sat down and taught them. He spoke of wisdom and kindness, calm and polite, certain that if he explained things well enough, they would understand and leave. The demons did not move. They simply stared back, unimpressed, as if they had heard it all before. Because the worry does not leave just because you lecture it. So Milarepa lost his patience. He stood up, angry now, and he attacked. He shouted. He threatened them. He chased them around the cave, demanding that they get out, throwing all his force against them. And here's the strange thing. The harder he fought, the stronger they grew. The more he raged, the more they seemed to feed on it, looming larger, multiplying, mocking him. He fought until he had nothing left, until he was exhausted and shaking on the floor of his own cave, and the demons were bigger than ever. Have you ever fought a thought like that, all night, and lost? And then, with no strength left to fight, something in Milarepa changed. He stopped. He looked at the demons, really looked at them, and he understood. They had never come to be defeated. His fighting was the very thing keeping them alive. So he did the unthinkable. He relaxed. He sat down among them, open and unguarded, and he said, quietly, "You are welcome here. If you wish to stay, stay. This cave is big enough for all of us." And one by one, most of the demons simply faded, like smoke in the morning air. But one remained, the largest, the fiercest, still crouched at the back of the cave, refusing to go. The old Milarepa would have fought it. Instead, he walked toward it. Slowly, without fear, he came right up to the creature, and he offered himself completely. "If you need to devour me," he said, "then here I am. Eat me. I will not run, and I will not fight you any more." He placed himself fully in the demon's power, and in that moment of total surrender, with nothing left to resist, the last demon dissolved into light, and the cave was quiet and warm and his again. Let us bring that cave into your own life, because you live in it more nights than you would like to admit. The demons are your anxious thoughts, the fear, the worry, the what-ifs that crowd in when the lights go out. And without meaning to, you do exactly what Milarepa did at first. You argue with them. You try to force them out. You fight and you lose, and they only grow louder, because resistance is the food that fear lives on. What set Milarepa free was not a stronger weapon. It was the willingness to stop fighting and turn toward the very thing he feared. So here's the tool you can carry out of this story. The next time the anxious thought arrives, do not wrestle with it. Instead, turn to it and gently let it in. Name it. Say to yourself, I see you, fear. You can sit here with me a while. You are not obeying the thought, and you are not pretending it away. You are simply letting it be there without going to war. And like the demons in the cave, a feeling that is fully allowed, fully felt, slowly begins to lose its grip. It does not need to be defeated. It needs to be met. This is not a magic cure, and if the dark ever grows very heavy, there is no weakness in reaching out to another person for help. But for the ordinary demons of an ordinary night, try meeting them instead of fighting them. Milarepa's cave was always big enough to hold both him and his fear, and so is your mind. The goal was never an empty cave. It was to stop being afraid of what lives there. So tonight, when the visitor comes, you might simply say, "Come in, sit down. I am not going to fight you anymore." And notice what happens to something that no longer has anything to push against. In the next story in this series, we face a different visitor. Not the fear that comes in the dark, but the anger that arrives in daylight, in the shape of a person trying to ruin your peace, and the single quiet question the Buddha used to disarm it. If this gave you a little more room to breathe tonight, stay a while. There are more quiet stories here, waiting.